So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike SB Dunk Low in the grey gum colorway. This colorway is nice, but can you spot any differences between them? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm taking a look at two pairs of Nike SB Dunks. This is the Nike SB Dunk in the wolf grey gum colorway. The retail pair's here on my right, fake pair's here on my left, and this is just to help you if you are trying to authenticate your pair, because I think this pair is pretty clean. Let's get straight into the comparison and take a look at both of these boxes. So these are both a UK 9 in sizing, so the boxes should be identical. But as you can see from the close-up here, you can see that the boxes are slightly different colours between the two. So the retail box is actually a slightly darker and richer purple compared to the fake one, whereas on the fake one, it looks like the box colour has slightly faded. So it's a slightly more light colour on the box compared to the retail box. And if we spin the boxes around to the side, take a closer look at the label, you can see a difference here as well. So obviously the fake one's basis on the US label, as you can see here has the US price tag. This is just because the fake market is much larger in the US compared to the UK where I purchased the retail pair. But as you can see, the font size and text size of both the labels is actually a little bit different as well. So if you take a look at the US 10 sizing, well, you can see that the font size is much larger and thicker on the fake one compared to the retail one. Also, if you look at the actual text above the top where it says Nike SB Dunk Low Pro ISO, you can see that this text is a lot thicker once again on the fake label compared to the retail one. So these are just close details that you have to look at if you are trying to authenticate your pair. So I'd recommend going back and checking that footage of the close-up of the label and just making sure your pair looks similar to this, especially if yours was purchased in the UK, because it should be identical to the one that I have here. But nobody really wants me to talk about the boxes for the entire video, so we'll open them up, take a close look at the shoes. We'll open up let's open up the fake one first. So the paper actually comes wrapped around the shoe, which they normally don't do, so they've done a good job of that. The retail one here, paper obviously comes mashed all over the thing. I don't know why they've done that, but shoes are inside. But we'll open them up and take a closer look. Take the shoes out. So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike SB Dunk Low in the grey gum colorway. This colorway is nice, but can you spot any differences between them? So the first difference I'm going to point out is the fake one comes with this tag on the top, which I'm assuming is the factory tag that's on them. The retail one obviously did not come with that, but they were purchased from eBay, so they do come with an eBay authentication tag as well. But there is no factory tag attached to them like there is on both sides of the fake pair. But the first difference on the shoe that we're actually going to talk about is the actual suede-like material, the nubuck suede, on the toe box area. And if I show you this close up, you can see a clear color difference between the two. So as you can see from the close up, the fake one is a slightly darker nubuck suede, so you can see it just looks like a darker shade of grey compared to the light shade of grey of the retail pair, and it's quite easy to see all over the shoe. The clear color difference in the upper is very obvious, and it's probably a telltale sign if you've got a pair in hand. But if you have one pair, it would be a little bit hard to see, but the grey is a wrong colour between the two, and that's a very easy spot straight away. Spinning the shoe around to the back and taking a look at the Nike embroidery on the heel here, we can see from the close-up there's a difference between the retail and fake. So from the close-up you can see that the Nike embroidery on the retail one is placed directly in the centre with an even gap above and below the Nike embroidery. But if you look at the fake one, you can see it's an uneven gap, with there being more of a gap at the bottom of the Nike embroidery, and with the Nike embroidery being closer to the top part of the shoe here. As you can see, it isn't symmetrical like it is on the retail pair. So the next difference I'm going to point out is the tongue material on both of these pairs. So if I give you a close-up, you can see that the colour difference, once again, just like the nubuck suede, is darker on the fake one compared to the retail one. But if you take a closer look at the material used for the tongue, you can see it is actually different from retail to fake. On the fake one, you can see that this bobbled material is actually way thicker on the fake one compared to the retail one, but the color difference once again is probably one of the key signs to look for between the two pairs. Taking a closer look at this tongue once again, and we look at the Nike SB label on the tongue, we can see a difference here. So if we look at the Nike SB text on this label here, we can see it's slightly larger on the retail pair compared to the fake one, and the overall label itself is actually slightly larger on the retail one compared to the fake one. And I would say that the Nike SB text on the fake one looks a little bit dirty and looks like it's kind of been worn a few times, because the text isn't actually a pure white, it's more of like a faded yellowy white, which just makes it look like it's been worn and dirty. So spinning the shoe around and taking a look underneath the tongue, and I'll give you a close-up of this label here, you can see it has a double stitching across the bottom going all the way across. You can see that this is actually a different coloured stitching from retail to fake. The fake one has a much darker orange stitching going all the way across, whereas the retail one, you can see the stitching is a lighter colour. I know this is a tiny detail and barely anyone's going to see it, but if you are trying to authenticate your pair, you've got to look at these tiny details, because If they're really close, these are the things you've got to look for. So another key difference between these two pairs, and it's really easy to see, is on the retail one, the spare white laces that come with them are looped into the pre-laced grey laces on the shoe itself, whereas on the fake one, they are attached by this plastic kind of toggle thing. So they aren't attached to the pre-laced grey ones which are in the shoe, they're actually like loose compared. So the difference between the two. While we're looking at laces, an obvious difference between the two is on the standard laces that come in the shoe are the grey ones, and if I show you from above, you can see a clear colour difference between the two once again, with the fake ones being a wrong grey shade compared to the retail one, and this is really easy to see side by side and would be something I would go to straight away to look for if you are authenticating, because the grey should match the rest of the shoe, whereas on the fake one you can see the grey is a slightly different shade to the nubuck suede around it. If we spin the shoe upside down, and one of the most noticeable features of this shoe is the gum sole, because they're called the grey gums, and if we look at the gum colour between the two pairs, we can see a clear difference even holding them up side by side with the camera here, but from the close-up you can see that the gum colour is very different from retail to fake, with the fake one being a much darker, dull gum sole compared to the retail one where it has a true gum sole and it's much lighter and cleaner looking in my opinion. Also, if you look at the middle grey patch here, you can see that the Nike SB logo on the inside is very different from retail to fake, with the retail one being slightly more indented and the pattern beneath being more visible. Compared to the fake one, you can see they've just not spent a lot of time comparing these side by side because they've got this completely wrong. So on the inside of the shoe, and I'll try and give you a close-up of this, there is actually an orange square with the Nike SB logo on it, and you can see the retail to fake comparing them side by side is very different once again. I would say that on the retail one, it's a perfect square, whereas on the fake one, it's not. Also, the color difference is quite obvious between the two, and also the print quality and the size of the Nike symbol itself is very different from retail to fake. This is something you can look really easily at. Obviously, if it's worn, this might be worn down a little bit and quite hard to see, but when it's a dead stock pair, it's a very obvious and telltale sign between the two pairs, and something you need to look out for. So the same differences that occur on the right side also occur on the left side, so I'm not going to compare the left side because it's exactly the same as what I've just spoke about on the right side. But that is the end of this comparison. If I am going to summarize what to look for straight away, obviously the most notable difference is the color of the nubuck suede, also the color of the laces between the two. And then the next thing I would look for next is the laces that come with it, the spare laces. If they're still attached and it's a dead stock pair, check what they're attached with because they should be attached to the standard laces that come inside the shoe. And then the final difference I would look at is actually the label on the tongue and look at the details and the stitching on the other side, because that's a minor difference that they actually might not correct straight away. But thank you for watching. I hope this comparison has helped you. If you are trying to purchase a retail pair, it's not going for much money, but it's a really clean colorway. Check it out, really do like it. Simple, really nice, really actually pretty comfortable because it is a Nike SB and would be an everyday wear for me. I really do like these. But thanks for watching. Hope you have an amazing day.